We are here with Miss Claudia. Claudia is in Montreal, right?
I am.
Man, I've been so excited to get you on camera. You act like you're shy, but you have such an amazing talent to bring to the world. I had to get you on camera, Claudia. So thank you for being with me, first of all.
Thank you for having me.
So let's talk about first how has it been like with us working together? Because I know I've been excited, but share with our audience a little bit about what we've been talking about, what we've been working on.
You know what? I watched your videos. I learned about you very recently, like not too long ago. But I watched your videos and I felt that energy of there's something here. Like she's connected to something that has been coming up in me and that I didn't really know what to do with. So I reached out like immediately and said, I want to do this. And it's been few times, and what has just taken taken over has been incredible because where I was scattered and having difficulty kind of putting my thoughts together, it became this um, possibility. I think you helped me say yes to my possibilities, permission to do that. Um, which you know what was in me all along, but that extra mentor uh, energy of you got this and I'm here, put it over to top.
Nice, nice. You've inspired me too to make a couple of videos on my TikTok, so I appreciate the conversation.
I gotta tell you, I watched them and I'm like, she's talking to me. Is
Right.
she talking to me?
Not necessarily, no judgment.
No, I know, but she could be talking to me right now,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
teaching me indirectly. Yeah.
Yeah, well, tell us about your book. You got two new books coming out, two concepts that you've been working on.
Yes, I have two concepts. So the first one is I have a lot of friends that talk to me about using AI as a therapist, as a boyfriend, as something to turn to for advice. And sometimes I'll hear that they'll go to it and they, get it all out of their system and they hear certain things or they're validated if you want, but they kind of are still stuck in their heads about it or angry about it. And I came back to my own situation and I'm going through tough times and I've been through tough times and I'm getting through tough times. And I have worked with AI and I realized very quickly that I know I have a growth mindset right off the bat, but there's a real opportunity there to say, if you're going to AI, because in the middle of the night, your therapist might not be available or somebody else, a friend might not be available, and you really realize you're about to spiral like right down into hell and you don't want to go there.
Mm.
And so you turn to AI and you will put something out there. Well, then how do you set it up so that it will help you not spiral anywhere, but actually lift yourself out of it and just not go into rumination, but clear it in that moment. I'm not saying a perfect clear, but I'm saying enough of a clear to say, I'm not going down. I'm staying right where I am. And something just opened up there. That's
And that was
what I'm
inspired
putting
by some
together.
of your work. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No good.
That was inspired by some of your work as a listener, I think you called it.
Yes. So I'm certified as a coach and I've done active listening on a helpline. I've trained active listeners. And I always came to realize that it's great to learn how to listen. From the outside in, you could learn all the skills of listening, but it still comes back to what's going on inside of you. And being able to get good at working with that or catching it as it's happening makes you an incredibly powerful person in your own life because you're not giving your power away to the situation or to another person or to even AI.
Mm-hmm.
You're keeping it right with yourself. You're using it as a companion. That's what it is. It's not us. It's more of your servant. It's a companion of I'm going to tell you what you're going to be, but you're going to be somebody to help me elevate in this moment, or to just not keep myself stuck in a place that's not yielding anything good for me and anyone else around me. Because if I'm not in a good place, then no one else is either.
Exactly. Yeah. What is like maybe one technique you can give to people to like sit through that discomfort?
Um, I've done a lot of different work, and I've done the listening work, obviously. So I'm going to bring it back to this. I'm going to give one of my experiences as a listener. When I first went into the listening booth, I was terrified because this was a helpline. So it wasn't just, a lot of it was solitude calls, people very lonely in the world, and regular callers. So kind of the same story they'd come with. Some of them were so, there was also mental health issues. Like there was a lot going on there. And I took it all with, it's like walking into a garden or not walking into a china shop as a bull. Like you got to head in there with a lot of grace of this person's going to bring whatever they bring, and I'm going to do my best to help them through it. But what was happening was I had one caller in particular. He kept calling it, and I'd go, let's say, once a week to do because not only was I volunteering as a trainer, I was also a listener. And so I'd go there once a week and do my listening very early on Saturday morning, 7 in the morning, listening to these calls. And the same guy would call. And it was very easy. And a lot of our listeners had this problem. They kind of get discouraged because they're like, oh my God, he's calling again at the same exact problem in the same exact way. And I'm not helping this guy. Like they get very discouraged. We all got discouraged at first. Yeah. But something happened one day, and I just said to myself, you know what? A week just passed for me, and a week just passed for him. So I live plenty in my week. How can I think this guy's the same person? He isn't. And I just put that out there, and I kept in mind the concept called beginner's mind, like saying, I'm going to act like and it was all anonymous, by the way. So they didn't tell me who they were, but their voice, their story, I knew who they were. So, but in that moment, I dropped that and I said, beginner's mind. I don't know this guy. And you know what? His story opened up just a fraction. So he told me another part of his story, which had never come out in the weeks prior. Mm-hmm. And that's the difference, is the energy, because I showed up differently. His energy could show up differently. Now, he didn't know this was happening. We didn't discuss it, but it happened. Yeah. And I don't know what else that opened up for him, but for me, it said, I like this idea of beginner's mind, because if I show up to you, or even when we meet, if I show up thinking I know who you are, I'm not accessing, what's possible. And I do it inevitably, right? I even discussed it with you today. Like I show up sometimes like afraid that is it this person, this mentor? You could look at them and look up to them, but at the end of the day, beginner's mind. What's going to open up? It's an interaction and it's co-creative.
So it sounds like someone in a really dark place right now could just start from a beginner's mind and realize your low point from from last week is actually higher than the low point from the previous week, and it's higher from the previous week. So there's definitely potential and hope if you look at it that way.
Absolutely. Recognizing that will switch you from the weight of how low it feels, because it might still be low. And I'm an example of that. I mean, we've discussed stuff, and I'm going through tough times. And I often said, had I not learned a lot of these skills and practiced them, I don't know where I'd be, because I wouldn't be able to see that, hold on a second, I'm hanging on to, all of this, and it is difficult. But what else just happened? What just opened? You helped me see a lot of that today that I maybe wasn't seeing. So that helps too. The right people, being surrounded with the right people helps.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Definitely. I'm learning that too. So don't think I know all things. I'm learning right along with you guys. Okay, so mention your next book real fast if you want to.
Yeah, well, the second one is going to be more along the lines of what I look to offer in the next span is the listening aspect, but listening with presence, because especially in the working world, in the corporate world, we're often listening from lower levels of consciousness, if you want, where your stance might be that I'm a victim, or your stance might be that I'm here to win, so somebody else has to lose, and you don't even realize you're playing a lot of stuff out. So if you go to work and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to be in a kindergarten, the equivalent of being in a kindergarten today. Like I've heard that. I've heard people say that to me. Like I go to kindergarten every day. This book will be a storytelling mainly book. because I love to tell stories, and I think it reaches people to see themselves in the story. And yeah, just explaining situations of how to become more present. Again, beginner's mind's a part of that, and become more present to what's really going on here. As a manager, let's say you're dealing with staff, or even as the staff that's listening to a manager, because kind of like the child and the parents, the child doesn't have this ability, but when you're an employee, you're an adult, you're not a child anymore. So you can relate that person who's freaking out on you right now as your manager might also be living what they're living. And it's not to excuse or condone less than stellar behavior. That's not what this is about. This is about saying, okay, let's have a first pause of saying we're both human right now, and I'm going to come with my baggage, and you're going to come with yours. And if we're aware that's happening, we can already start and say what else is possible, and what are we here to do, and to do it in a way that elevates both of us, leaves us better people, because that moment came to us, and we create a better moment out of it. I think that would help a lot, relieve a lot of the conflicts that go on in these environments.
Yeah,
so that's what's coming together, right?
Oh, I'm so excited about this because this has been my experience being a consultant for different companies. I think we called it what, conscious leadership?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Absolutely.
I can tell you the last couple of years, well, just my first transition into management in general, that was the first thing that hit me like a brick. I got into management because I wanted to be a better example of what management was, because I got tired of being managed by incompetent people, right? And so my first experience was realizing this is another human sitting across me. If this was my child, how would I want someone else to be speaking to my child? And not to belittle my employee. No, it's more like, I don't care if it was my grandma, like it's okay to treat people with respect and dignity in the workplace and not feel like your position is threatened. So it all begins with the communication.
Absolutely. And the way to a better world.
Yeah. For sure.
I think it's such an important piece to all this. And I think as the awareness comes in, I think you also walk away with a better feeling. And once you have enough of those, you're like, I don't want the other stuff anymore. I don't want to play those games anymore.
Yeah. So you are going to be offering consulting soon. So basically leadership training, perhaps in corporate, perhaps for small businesses. Hopefully we're going to get you on stage soon to be doing some speeches, some talks, because you've done that before.
I have. Yes. I'm working through it. And yeah, absolutely. Just to, it's not knowledge in the sense of books. Yes, I've read a lot of books and I've gone through a lot of courses and so on and so forth. But this is a lived experience. A lot of it is a lived experience. And as I live it, I can verbalize it. Like I see the raising of the awareness in me, the opening of the awareness in me, and I can verbalize that. And it's just to put it out there, not to say it's a matter of being better than anyone. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with, how do we want our world to look? Do we want to be stuck in, I'm right, you're wrong? Like, I'm in competition with you. Like, where do we want to be? Do we want to say, you're you, beautiful energy, you've got what you have going on, and you have this potential, and I want to help you gain access to that, and I'm the same. And we operate on that level, and it comes by starting to see where we lack the awareness of having that. When I studied in my coaching program, they talked about levels of energy, and the two lowest levels were the victim, let's say, level and the conflict level. There were white papers done that showed most businesses operate at the second conflict level, which means that the slogan there is, I win, you lose. Somebody needs to lose and I need to win. And as you go up in the levels, then it becomes, I want to win. Let's say the next level, I want to win. I'm going to win. If you win too, it's not such a bad thing. But in the second level, you're making sure somebody else loses.
Yeah.
And we could look at the world of politics and go there. But it's as you go up, and then one of the top levels is win-win. And I live by that now. I'm not going to play if it's not win-win.
Yeah. It
has to be win-win. So it's heading up that and bringing that out in the.
Hey, on behalf of the world, we appreciate your perspective and wisdom, and honor everything you've been through in order to be able to bring that to us.
Yes,
So let's say,
that part doesn't show, but
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's there.
So let's say someone's watching this and they want to get in touch with you to perhaps come out to their business or come speak on their stages. How would you like people to contact you?
Um, I'm on Instagram under Claudia Pornaro. I don't have a site yet. That's all still in the works. I have an email I can make available. I can even put it after if you post this or when you post this. I could give you the link there to reach out to me. It's really in the earliest stages at this point, but yeah, that's why.
All right, perfect. Hey, an email is all you need to make your first $1 million. Trust me, I've seen it.
From your mouth to God's ears.
I'm telling you.
Absolutely.
All right, Claudia. Well, thank you so much for your time. You just when I exit this, you just text me whenever you want to meet again next week, and we're gonna go from there. Keep crushing it.
Thank you.
All right, talk soon.
Bye.
Bye bye.